sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.
Hey guys! Welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded with DJ and Kelly. I'm your host, DJ Qualls, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Kelly Blackheart. Hey, Kelly Blackheart, how you doing?
Whoa, that's the energy we're looking for.
I just
You got hyped up.
I just got my first wind. We've already done an episode.
First win of the day.
So I would like to talk to you about dreams. We were just on the Patreon, and I touched a little bit on it. So for a couple of nights ago, I had a dream where I had sex with several women, one right after the other, and I was following a checklist of things that I did to them, and like just one, And the thing is, it wasn't against my will; it just was something that was happening.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't dislike it. It's just not what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like if you're good at crocheting and somebody hands you some knitting needles.
Just like that.
You probably could.
It is. Whoa.
You're probably,
the analogy?
You probably can figure it out.
But be knitting.
You probably can figure it out, but you don't have a lot of muscle memory in the area, right? So, but this is come on the heels of
Whoa.
which is also was number 4 on the checklist.
Were they Louboutins? They were red bottoms, but now they're white bottoms.
Gross.
Oh, I took it too far.
So, but this dream came after.
It proceeded.
It anteceded a dream that I've been. There's a lot of stress going on in my normal life with financial stuff. Serve Pro has given me their final statement. For those of you who don't know, who the fuck are you listening to? But my house flooded, and Serve Pro was the water remediation company that came to clean it up, and they came out like at 1:00 in the morning. I wasn't there. Kelly was there briefly, and they cleaned it up, and they have they lied to me. They said the floors were wet longer than they were to keep the equipment rentals going, because I had an independent person come out and he's like, these floors are dry, and they were just there,
Were
right?
the floors wet because of all the sex with women, or
No. I'm very tidy. No, so I get the bill, and it's $26,600 for water remediation, right? They didn't tear anything out. They didn't do anything. They just mopped the floors, bagged up all my shit, and ruined it, and let it mold, which I asked them not to do. They did it anyway.
that was extra $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000 for fucking your shit up.
Did you request the special mold service?
Yeah, and then the electricity bill came from them running that equipment for over a month.
And you haven't opened it
I haven't
yet.
opened it yet. So I'm having some anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm not working as much this year as I worked last year. Although I did just get an email for a job.
Ooh, nice.
Which is, thanks, universe. It says, we'll give you $8 if you'll come here for 3 years. Because I didn't go into it. But so I'm having some anxiety, and if you don't deal with anxiety in your waking world, it will find you in dreams, usually that are persecution dreams. You're being followed. You're in a situation you can't get out of.
Yep.
And I've been noticing those have been increasing. But recently I've been having a dream about a prison. I've been going to prison.
Oh.
And it's a very vivid dream. I'm obviously bummed. I feel trapped because I'm in prison. But recently, I've had this like probably over the course of a week, maybe 4 times, and I wake up and I have bitten the inside of my mouth,
yeah.
And just teeth gritted and all that stuff. So recently I've taken the power back from it, and now I'm using it as part of my sleep hypnosis. For those of you who don't know, I do sleep hypnosis mostly every night. And I've created this series of worlds that I go to that are off a central hallway that I enter when I am sort of even when I'm not sleepy, it puts me to sleep. So I've made an offshoot that goes to this prison. and I have I share a cell with 3 very good-looking guys now.
You just do your conjugal visits.
I do, and one of the guys was a contestant on Beast Games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just put him right in jail with me, and so
I gotta be here. You do too.
yeah, and one of the thing also about dreams in general is that a lot of times, and this goes back to when having night terrors, a completely innocuous situation will become fearful. Like when I was a little boy, I had night terrors about being in a desert and these giant nacho chips were walking around, and I knew that they were thirsting to death, right? Like, so completely innocuous things. So a big part of the anxiety for this prison dream was when I was serving my time on the weekend, which you can do, which I just found out because I've recently become friends with somebody who was in prison for a minute, and there's a warrant out for his arrest and for something else, and he told me that you can serve like during the weekends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
you just
so
report on Saturday morning, and
or
then,
go for a week at a time, and then I have to be out this week because I've got a dental, I've got to get some
work
dental surgery or
whatever.
And so, in my dream, I know that I am, either there for a few days or I'm checking in for the weekend. But right when I go in and I go through like the initial screening to make sure I don't have weapons, they give you like a card on a lanyard, and you have to pay for all your food, and it also, every time you go into your cell, you have to tap it so they know you're in there every time you leave, which prison should run like that.
It's like your CPAS.
It's completely. It's like that's what happens when you're on a cruise.
Yeah.
That little card is good for everything.
Yeah.
So, but right when I get through security, my first thing is I'm taken to like a lunch line, and I have to select something that's going to be my meal for the day that I'm taking back to the cell with me. And every time I go to select something, I look down, and it's gone. That one thing is gone. And so I was building up a lot of anxiety about it. And now I'm going to this prison on purpose. They have everything that I want. The other day I wanted a fried chicken salad, and it was right there. I didn't like the dressing.
You didn't like the prison cafeteria, so you created the Windjammer.
Yeah, exactly.
He's turned his dreams into a cruise.
The Windjammer is
heaven.
the buffet on the cruise.
With special roommate.
But I've really turned this around. I redesigned the room to put the toilet in a faraway place.
That's smart.
Yeah, because that's also
And
one
you
of
have
my,
chevron floors.
that's one of my biggest fears is having to poop in front of somebody. But yeah, originally it was just like 4 concrete sort of shelves or big steps, and a window that was very high up, and a television. But now I've put in bunk beds and I've put the bathroom around the corner with the sink basin. Like I've really
balcony.
I've really spruced this prison up.
You might have a second career in here somewhere.
But it's I was really proud of myself because it took something that was really stressing me out, and I took power over it.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I go to this prison on purpose for reasons that are previously known to everybody who listens to this podcast.
Do we need to take a break? Because I want to tag on to something with this, but
We're at 8 minutes.
all right. Well, do you want to just take a early break, and then we'll jump back in?
Hell yeah.
We'll be right back. So just kind of what you were talking about, I'm not going to go into details about this, but I also felt like I experienced a lot of growth in that sector this week, because this past weekend we found out some information that was pretty shocking and horrifying about somebody that we have become very friendly with over the last 6 months. And like, for my entire life, everything I've done in terms of dealing with feelings is suppress everything and like never talk about it. At least I don't talk about it with people until I feel like I've processed the information and I can like not burden somebody with how I'm feeling. But when we found this out, we were around a bunch of people, and so I was shocked, obviously, but I acted normal. And then as soon as I was alone, I just started bawling in my car. I went home. I had
no idea because you played it off.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like I never blame anybody for not checking in on me or whatever it is, because I do. My entire life, I've just tried to not be inconvenient to people. I don't want my presence to be inconvenient, so I never talk about my feelings. I never ask people for advice or any of that stuff. So I went home, I had a panic attack, and I actually did text you then later, and I was like, don't read this right now, because I knew you were with people, and I'm like, this is kind of what happened, blah,
And
blah.
I did read it right now.
And I had to get it out there because I was like, I needed to word vomit, but I also didn't want to ruin your night. But then I spent the next 2 days like breaking down into tears constantly. And the reason I did it is because I recognized that I've suppressed so many emotions my entire life. And I'm sure that that's a lot of the reason that I have so many autoimmune issues and chronic pain and all of that stuff, because all of that shit is stored in your body. And also this information that we found out did directly affect me years ago. And so it was just all of these feelings that were circulating, and being able to like really feel all the feelings. Like I was angry, I was sad, I was all of these things, but I also then talked about it with people. And I'm like, this is what I've been missing my whole life, because I was able to let the feelings kind of flow through me. And it's not that I'm completely okay with the situation now, but I needed to release it.
Yeah, you're not going to a barbecue
because
at this person's house.
like I really fester with things in my head. And I saw, we've talked about before where it's like, I try not to say I'm an anxious person. It's like I'm dealing with anxiety right now, or like not labeling myself as a thing. And I saw a video recently that was talking about how other cultures they specifically don't talk that way either. They talk about like sadness is going through me, blah, blah, blah. And they
like that's their language.
That's their
for
language for it. Yeah. It's like anger is passing through, or whatever it is. And that to me is a really powerful statement, because our minds are so powerful. So being able to really process that shit out loud, as opposed to what I'm so used to doing, really fucking helped. Like I feel, it's like, I don't know how soon I'll be able to go back and be in that environment,
Right.
but I do think that I can someday. It's like, I actually think it'd be more powerful for me to go back and be unaffected by this situation. And so
When you're ready.
Yeah, it just felt like growth for me, because I, like any of my closest friends who are listening, like Colleen, she knows, like if I ever come to her about something, it's because I've already made the decision on how I feel about it. And I'm like, I just want to check, am I being crazy about this thing? But I'd never come to people well, actually, she's probably the one person who was like, when I was dealing with suicidal ideations, I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. And she'll be like, hey, don't do that. But yeah, it's just not something I feel comfortable doing. So
we skip over the process too. And also we tell ourselves that we're okay with stuff because we want to be okay about it.
Yeah, of course.
And it's all still stored. Anything that's not worked through, it's all unresolved trauma. And I'm not actively in therapy, but I give my note section, if it's ever discovered.
Oh God, I know mine too.
But I free write in it. It's not journaling. I never read it again. But when I'm anxious, scared, grateful, and also I say things out loud. I'm nervous right now. I'm pissed off as fuck. This really sucks. But acknowledging stuff in real time, it puts a narrative to your feelings and also gives you permission, and also dampens it.
Yeah.
Like I've said this, and this is such a not cool example to use next to something emotional, but when I first started getting recognized and had to make all the press rounds, I had to come off as a fully professional, cool motherfucker, and I was not that in my head. And so the first time I ever did a talk show, the host, I think it was Conan, said, I was like, I'm so fucking nervous. He was like, say that the moment we start. And acknowledging it in real time gives you permission to feel it, and then it will mitigate. It will dissipate. It will go away. And it does. But we really, and I know you're so strong, and you and Ty have that certainly in common. Like, I will will myself to be okay with this and not feel these things, even though the situation was really fucked up if you pull it apart. But I'm not really going to pull it apart because I'm okay with it.
And that's the thing too, is like I openly talk about my trauma, but I always make sure to tell the stories in a way that's palatable for other people. Like I don't tell my stories with emotion, because people are uncomfortable by that. And it's like, I want to be able to be open about this thing, but the minute you start crying or feeling like you haven't processed it, people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's like, no, just let me tell this. Let me get through the details. Don't be my therapist right now. I'm just telling you this story. And so but
it's also concerning for for other people when you present a front of I'm cool with this, and then all of a sudden something comes up behind you and it knocks you down to stuff that you thought was resolved. For the other person,
Totally.
I was like we can cut this out if you want.
No, I'm fine to
I was
talk about
asking Kelly all these questions around it, but what I really wanted to know was she having self-harm thoughts?
And
So I was asking all the questions, and I was like, well, I'm just going to tell you something. That stuff I do care about, but what I'm really trying to get at is this, and I need to know, even for selfish reasons. Like, we always hear people say, I wish I would have said something. I wish I would have done something. And that's a lifetime carry. And
Yeah.
I don't like you enough to carry that forever.
That's bullshit, first of all. And I was not offended by that question at all. It was a completely valid question because
'Cause it was on my
I
mind.
was having suicidal ideations again. That the whole situation brought me back to the moment of the trauma in the first place. And I explained to you in the text, like, yes, I am having those thoughts, but I also know for a fact I'm never going to do that because I've attempted before. And so I know the effects of it. And like, that was one of the benefits of having attempted is I saw how devastating it was for people.
And now the stakes are higher because there's children involved.
And I just know that it would destroy them. So I know that I'm not going to do that. But it also was like, I don't want to fucking live in this world anymore where everybody like, I think the biggest thing for me was like I couldn't trust my own judgment anymore. Like that's how I was feeling. And I made a video about it and I was like, I'm actually glad I made the video because logically in my head, I know that this is not on me. Like people deceive you or people act a certain way and they're a different way behind closed doors and all that stuff. And it's really not on the person who didn't know that they were being deceived. But like to be able to put that out there and have people validate the fact that it's like, this isn't you, like all that stuff, like we should be kind of processing with things out loud if you can handle it, you know? So yeah, I was proud of myself for allowing myself to feel because that's always been really uncomfortable with me. And that's why talk therapy never really worked for me because I'm not really connected to my body in that way. Like I intellectualize everything. And so I can tell you, like, I can already make excuses for this person's behavior. I can justify everything they did because I look for reasons why people do terrible things. And
in the coming to terms with the stuff, you've already made excuses for the people.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because it feels safer for me to go, they're not evil. They were in a bad spot and they made a dumb decision or they did, blah, blah, blah.
It also makes you less vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because when something's done to you, that's what people who have never experienced any sort of severe trauma that was done to them, one of the first things that you feel is embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And that embarrassment is so strong. Being bullied in front of people, like in high school, and you're so embarrassed, you just want it to stop. You just want it to go away, and you don't want to talk about it anymore. And you don't want to have been in the situation at all. And it's so much worse when people know about it because then you see sorrow reflected back at you when you're like, I don't feel bad for myself, so you shouldn't either.
Yeah.
When really you're just doing that to not have to fucking be vulnerable and hurt through something. This was just done to me, and that really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So good for you for taking power back over this, and also realizing that even at your age, you can still have epiphanies where like, you know what, maybe I could deal with this kind of stuff a little better. Maybe I could really make it about me because it was about me because it happened to me.
Yeah, totally. And there's often like everything I did before was in order to placate everybody else and make sure everybody else around me was okay. And I'm like, why am I abandoning myself in this situation? Like nobody else needs to understand why I feel so strongly about this situation, but I do feel strongly, and so I need to be able to let it out. And that's like when I was going to therapy regularly, my therapist is like, I need you to get angry about these things because every story I told her she was horrified by, and I would do the justification thing. She's like, Kelly, you have to get angry. Like I need you to go home and curse these people out in your head or in a journal or whatever it is. And it was just like I'm so forgiving in that way where I'm like, people make mistakes and like this doesn't define them, and I'm sure they've grown up.
Every story you've ever told me about certain periods of your life and things that have gone down, it's not my business to talk about. You have led with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Did you, after the therapist, when she's like, you need to get mad and you need to do this, did you go home and be like, God, that bitch is so emotional. No wonder women should be able to vote.
No, I just got mad at her. I'm like, this dumb bitch, I'm paying her $150 an hour and she's telling me how I should feel. Yeah, so I highly recommend processing your emotions in whatever way, like, but genuinely allow yourself to feel them, because suppressing it, it may feel strong in the moment, or you may feel like you're doing people favors, but you'll eventually, like, and then what I was talking about, like, I used to tell my stories in a lighter way. Then when you eventually have some sort of reaction to something, people go, what the fuck? Like, why are you being crazy about this? And it's like, well, because I've been storing all of this, and like I've been waiting for a moment to finally erupt.
You can't jump to the end part where you can laugh about it one day if you laugh about it on the second day.
Yeah. Because I remember there was one time, like right after one of my like horrific traumas, my mom was visiting and she and I got in this really big fight. And she like walked to Target from my apartment, which was like 3 miles away on basically a highway. And I called her and I kept calling her and she wasn't answering. And I think I called my dad and he's like, she's at Target. I'm like, Target? That's so far. So I went to pick her up and she got in the car and I just immediately broke down. I'm like, I'm in a really bad spot because this thing happened. And she's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be vulnerable with people because I've always had to be really strong. Yeah. I've always had to, like, anytime anybody else was going through shit, I was the one picking them back up. And so I need to be okay with accepting help too, which that's really hard for me. But I grew this week.
Good.
Yay me.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
And however you choose to resolve the situation and deal with it, and whether or not you choose to engage with this person is you're the driver in this. And I'm proud that we're withholding information.
I know this is,
and not dragging other people into it, including people who are our friends. That could be harmed by this.
And that's the thing. I'm like, I don't.
They're innocent in this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect anybody to act differently. I don't expect there to be like this person has faced consequences for what they did. It's just I found out the information much later.
It's brand new for you.
It's brand new for
me. And that's
the
thing. If you are a perpetrator of something, and even if you have gone through crime and punishment and been societally absolved of it, when somebody finds out about it, and especially somebody who was connected to it in the past, it's brand new information
for sure.
So your time served, it doesn't have the same weight.
Yes, exactly.
And that's okay.
It's
interesting though, because I didn't know that he knew that I knew.
That I was debating on whether or not to tell you that because I didn't want to affect your decision, to go back there or whatever. So that's why I withheld that information from you for that. But then when you found out, you're like, oh, so that's why he was like,
because I mealy-mouthed him and didn't make eye contact, and he went something like wow or something like that, or I can't remember what he did. Maybe it wasn't that direct, but I didn't know that he knew that I knew. This is like that episode of Friends. That episode of Friends where like they find out that Monica and Chandler are doing it. And they don't know that we know that they know that we know.
It was a shock to me. I didn't know that he followed me on Instagram, and so it was like I see just an I'm.
Oh, it was on Instagram.
It was on Instagram, and so I see a message request that says I'm so sorry, and I was like I have no idea who this is, and then I open it, I'm like. And I like froze immediately and then started crying again. I was like, how dare you message me?
I found it like a day or two later on Facebook, and thought you put it on Facebook because nobody goes on Facebook.
No, unfortunately, I keep forgetting that my Instagram and Facebook are linked, and so every time I post a reel on Instagram, it goes to Facebook. And then
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So I posted it that night, and I wake up. My mom is calling me multiple times the next morning, and I finally answer the phone. I'm like, "Hello." She's like, "Are you sleeping?" I'm like, "It's 7:30," and she's like, "Oh, Aunt Kathy called about your video, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It was just like, it was a lot to process. And she's like, "Well, she's really worried something happened to you." I'm like, "Did she watch the video?" Because I made it very, very clear that I just found out something. Like, I didn't say that anything happened to me right now. Like,
She saw a crying girl and then
and immediately called you.
no, that's funnier than what I was going to say. She saw a crying girl, meaning you, and then immediately stopped listening to what she was saying.
Well, yeah, that's basically what happened. Which is funny because I've had a couple of videos like that I have posted pretending I was crying, like the one when
I didn't like that.
The one where I pretended that Target made my dog gay.
No, but
and
I saw one that was really upsetting, like something had just happened. I don't remember the one I was like, "Don't fucking do that."
there was one that I did about the boxing situation when they were calling Aman Khalif, they were calling her trans and all that stuff because she like had punched that girl so hard, and so I made a video pretending I was crying, and I was like, I didn't know that at the world's hardest punching competition that I would get punched in the face.
And so I don't know the context for this because I don't know anything that's happening on
He's
the
like, you
internet.
got punched in the face?
So I thought somebody hit her.
And I'm like, do you think I went to the world's hardest punching competition?
I didn't. I thought it was a metaphor.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a metaphor for something that I wasn't.
I thought you just went to an elementary school.
I thought I wasn't cluing in on, but I'm hearing punched in the face and crying, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
And what I'm hearing is I'm a really good actress.
Yeah.
Take that, Hollywood. Let me know if you need any crying scenes. But yeah, so
We're all crying now because nobody can get any fucking work.
I know, right? But anyway, other than that, life is. My parents are in town. It's been great. We really get along now, so that's fun.
So this episode has really been about elective prison sex, turning things around for yourself, and self-realization.
Yeah. This should be a healing episode for
It
people.
really is. This is the healing episode.
Yeah, the healing episode.
Oh, I was going to call it Fully Professional Cool Motherfucker.
What's cool? What's that?
You said
That's-
that when you went on Conan.
Yeah.
You said you had to be a fully professional cool
Yeah.
All right, I did have to, and I was one too. And now I've been that for so long.
I'm not sure if that's the take home from this episode, but I'm okay with it.
Oh God, y'all.
Oh, God,
life is
y'all.
hard.
It is. And I will say also that I think that the fact that everything in the world is on fire right now and it doesn't feel like we care about women and their abuse and all of that stuff, like it's so obvious with the Epstein files and all of this stuff that everything was compounding. It's like everything's shit and nobody gives a fuck. And
this is a universal feeling that's happening right now. Every little thing is becoming a powder keg for people because all the things that we've been taught to trust, all the illusions are being shattered.
Yeah.
And nobody feels safe.
yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why MAGA is so mad, because they told them, like, they can't even trust elections.
Yeah.
Which is all bullshit, by
Yeah.
the way, and has been proven to be bullshit over and over and over again. And even though he can't fucking give it up. He just got all the fucking voting records from Arizona. You lost. But every little thing now is becoming a big thing because we're dying the death of 1,000 cuts, and everybody is tired. Here's what would make me really mad. If you and I are going through this sudden renaissance of understanding ourselves and finding peace about shit, and then we get killed by a governmental drone trying to make it look like California was bombed by a foreign entity.
Oh no, they've ascended to the next level. Drop the bomb, drop the bomb.
How was your week? Oh my
It was
God,
fine when they were horrible people that didn't understand anything.
How was your week? It was so great. I've come to terms with some things. Kelly's come to terms with some things. Things aren't bothering us as much. Cue the drones.
Yeah.
I want to live now. I really feel like if the lights went out, I could survive at least 48 hours. Like, really, things have really turned around for me. Zzz, boom.
As long as it's fast. The worst case scenario would be surviving some blast where you have to live in a nuclear winter or like fucking forage for food or something like that.
I don't want to. I have to.
How do you forage for Taco Bell?
It's
how?
Almost impossible. And
You guys would like the first 3 weeks because you have to stay inside.
Yeah, going back to the pandemic. We're actually kind of like right now is like 6 years ago, basically to the day of starting the severe lockdowns.
Oh, right.
Because yesterday, my Facebook status from 6 years ago was like, God, I've never been happier to not have children right now. Like,
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I was decorating the oaks for St. Patrick's Day.
mm-hmm.
And then we went into lockdown that night.
Yep.
And I had the best 6 months of my fucking life. I loved it. It was great. And then reality hit.
I had some ups and downs in the first 6 months, but generally, I was like the most creative of my life at that time.
Were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
by myself, and I was doing little like stupid, funny sketches. Like I was writing things,
weren't
and we
that
were getting
close
together
then,
on Zoom.
were we?
No, we had. That was like year 2 of us knowing each other, so
Yeah.
that was still when we hung out like maybe once every 4 or
Yeah.
5 months or something like that. So I don't think I saw you at all. Really?
Yeah, I don't really. And I had just come back from a very long stretch of living full time in Vancouver, so I didn't even know very many. I knew the Oaks people casually.
You knew Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, I knew like my best friend. My best friend.
Jose got you through that
Yeah.
situation.
Get inside me. And he did.
Yeah, it's so funny at the beginning of the pandemic because everybody like it didn't take long for people to start organizing Zoom hangouts with their friends and stuff like that. And I was like, because people are like, I haven't seen my family in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I see my family maybe twice a year. I mean, like, obviously
Yeah.
I see my brother and nephews, but like most of my family I see maybe twice a year. And so I was just enjoying not having to answer phone calls or text message or whatever. And I had a text thread going with Jack and Tommy. And they were both talking about how they had gotten together on Zoom with their families. And Tommy's like, oh, Kel, how are you doing? Like, you're all alone. I was like, I'm so great. I haven't
Yeah.
had to talk to anybody in 2 weeks.
I
And they
was
just started
really,
laughing.
Really late to the whole Zoom hangouts or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
they were. Really late to that.
Yeah.
I did it reluctantly when I did it when my penis was too sore to touch anymore. Which took about 6 months.
I wrote a sketch that I got a bunch of friends to do on Zoom where we were doing a Zoom bachelorette. And so I was the bachelorette and I had a bunch of my friends come in as the bachelors and we did a little silly thing. So I did a couple of little fun. I also made a video where I was like, I'm going on a bar crawl, and a lot of people got really mad about that. But I was just going to different places
Yeah.
in my apartment complex, and I did mushrooms in that video. A lot of people sent me death threats over that because they thought I was really going on a bar crawl.
You know that the bar that I took Brandon and Ina to last night did not close.
It didn't?
No.
Oh, same with so my old one of my favorite
It
spots.
turned into a speakeasy.
Yeah, that makes.
I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that makes
Yeah.
complete sense to me. Yeah,
it turned into a speakeasy.
because Tin Horn Flats in Burbank used to be a place that I really loved going to because it was a Chicago bar. And they had good food and good drinks and all that stuff. But during the pandemic, they also didn't shut down. And
Could you imagine like not shutting down during the pandemic and then shutting down because the price of the wholesale price of Chicago dogs went up? You survived the big thing, but something put you over the edge that
Yep.
wasn't international catastrophe.
they eventually had to sell. I mean, because they like the city of Burbank would come and lock. They would put padlocks on the doors, and then the owners would come and like chop them off and open it back up again, and then they would have MAGA rallies in the back. I'm like, I didn't even know that these people were fucking MAGA. I
See,
wouldn't have been coming here.
What
But
blankety blank had going for it is that the front entrance isn't an entrance.
yeah,
And it looks like a business from the front and a party in the back.
and it is,
And it is.
and it is.
And so like we were there last night. They had the back door closed, and it looks like a shuttered up. And because nobody was out there, it looks like a shuttered up built. You have to know to go there.
Yeah.
And so they were opening at 7 a.m. and just staying open all day and just operating on a cash only basis.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the least. That is absolutely
Especially
the place.
knowing the people that go in there.
Yeah. Some of those people are probably just ghosts from the pandemic.
Like they died years and years
Yeah.
and years ago.
That's why we always feel like we're haunted when we're like, why is this person talking to me about what happened in the 1930s?
nobody can see this, right?
No, I won't put it.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to blow up their spot.
Yeah.
I have to purposely put stuff in.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's okay. But anyway, guys, hope you learned something on this episode, maybe about yourself or about how to put a jail in your dreams or shutter your back door.
I'm telling you, if you
if DJ's around and you're in prison, definitely shutter your back doors. You guys can follow us on social media at LoadedPod. Send us an email, probably loadedpod@gmail.com. You can join our Patreon for videos, episodes a week early. Join our live happy hours. That's patreon.com/loadedpod. And if you want to try out the happy hours, go to loadedpod.com, put your email in, and I will send you a free invite. You can also call us if you want to talk about any of your problems, if you need advice. We love giving advice. DJ loves unqualified advice. So call us.
Yeah, let's revive unqualified advice.
272-3908, and we will see you on Patreon.
I think we haven't mentioned in a while that this episode isn't over. It continues.
Oh yes, we're gonna go do 15 more minutes over on Patreon, because those people fund the show, and we want to give them as much as we possibly can. So if you want to help us fund the show, join the Patreon. There's cheap tiers. And sometimes
the name of this
sometimes
other
Cheap
podcast.
tears.
sometimes real tears.
Cheap tears.
Love you guys. Bye.
Pour yourself a glass.
Then tune into your favorite podcast.
Where things will be misquoted.
And opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.